What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Go One More Marathon Prep. It is week 2. It is Monday. I just wrapped up an easy 7-mile run. In this video, I'm going to be going over my training plan and my goals for the race in January, so it should be a great video. But first, let's get some post-run nutrition. Oh my goodness, hello, sir.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh goodness.
Alright, this is the daily post-run supplement stack. We got BPN Intraflight, that is BCAAs. We've got strong reds, and we got strong greens, and we got about 16 ounces of water every single day. Alright, I'm in the office. I've got my training plan pulled up on my computer here. I'm just going to kind of walk through with you guys what I have created and what everything means on here. Basically, I have everything broken up into 3 blocks here. We have this light gray, that's the ramp period. That's for the first 3 weeks. Then we have a building block. That's this 5-week stretch here. And I've got a taper block, which is the last 5 weeks of the training plan. So obviously right here, we're on week 2. Today is Monday. So I just did 7 easy miles this morning. And I'll get into later in the video what 7 easy miles means. So every Tuesday I have a track workout. I'll be working on speed, building my anaerobic threshold. And then Wednesdays are usually my lowest mileage week because I've had 2 running days in a row. One of them being a speed day. So I want to take it a little bit easier on Wednesdays. Thursdays are a little bit higher mileage, still nothing too crazy. Then I have a rest day Friday, so I run Monday through Thursday, rest Friday. Saturdays are my long runs. Typically anything over 10 miles I would consider a long run. My longest run here is in the middle of training. That's the end of the 5th week, and that's a 24-mile run. I also have a 26-mile run down here. That'll be the Charleston, South Carolina marathon. That's 2 weeks before the Go One More marathon. That'll just be a super easy effort. And then Sundays are rest days. So this whole plan is subject to change based on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling too tired or like I'm just not performing at my best, then I'll knock the mileage down a little bit. But if I'm feeling really good and I feel like I can push it a little bit more, add a few extra miles here. So this whole thing is variable depending on how I'm feeling at the time. But for the most part, this is what I'll be doing every week. Really, just having this structured plan helps me know what to expect every single week, and it helps me stick to running on a consistent basis every single week. Up here, I have my goal for this race. So I really want to qualify for the Boston Marathon, just like lots of other people. And for my gender and age group, I have to run a sub 3-hour road marathon in order to qualify, and that doesn't guarantee my qualifying for the Boston, but that's the minimum to at least enter to be qualified, if that makes sense. So that comes out to be a 6:50 or faster pace. I'll probably at the Go One More marathon be aiming to have an average pace of 6 minutes 45 seconds. So this will be my first official road marathon race. I've done 1 trail ultra and I've done 2 road half marathons. And honestly, trying to run a sub 3-hour marathon is pretty scary. I don't know if I can do it. There's only one way to find out, obviously. But I've honestly come to learn that if you think about things too much, then you're just going to scare yourself out of doing it to begin with. It's paralysis by analysis. If you just sit there and think about it too much, and you're going to psych yourself out, and you're never going to even end up trying to do something. So it's better, in my opinion, to have a goal of something, jump in, start doing it, commit to it, and then you'll figure it out along the way. That's what I've done with past races, and that's what I'm doing with this race. So I don't want to go on for too long about this, but this is basically my training plan. It's going to be a fun 13 weeks. Getting ready to go hit a track workout this afternoon, and I wanted to show you guys one of my favorite afternoon snacks. Super simple, very nutritious, and very tasty. Cut up a couple apples. It helps if you have one of these apple slicer thingamajiggies, some peanut butter, and there you have it, 2 perfectly sliced up apples, 2 scoops of Justin's honey peanut butter, and 1 delicious pre-run snack. All right, so I'm at the track. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Greenville tonight. It's the middle of November and it's like 70 degrees. I could not ask for better weather. My track workout is super simple tonight. I just have a 1 mile warm up, which I just did, and then I have 8 800s with 2-minute walk rest in between, and then a 1 mile cool down, and that's it. So let's get started. God, that workout sucked. Just finished up the track workout, some 800-meter repeats. For all those 800s, I tried to maintain about a 5:30 minute per mile pace. So that's about 2:45 per 800. Obviously, throughout this training plan, I will work to speed that up a few seconds each time. But my goodness, these track workouts are just killing me. We'll see you guys tomorrow. It has been very rainy here in Greenville today, and we were kind of in the soup mood. You know how that goes. So Bree and I are making one of our favorite soups tonight. If you've been to Olive Garden, you've probably had this. It's called zuppa toscana, but we do our own version. It has kale, chicken broth, sausage, heavy cream, bacon, potatoes. It's not the most healthy soup in the world, not gonna lie. But it's also not too bad. It's got some kale in there. It's got a little protein. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta have some good comfort food, some good soup.
Good soup.
If you guys do not have one of these vegetable choppers, I highly recommend it.
Especially with onions, because onions make you cry the more you cut them.
Just cut up half an onion in like under a minute. So efficient. Have you ever seen anyone just eat raw potatoes? Because Bree does that. She does. Okay, so this morning, Bree cooked up zuppa toscana and put it in the crock pot. And then tonight, we did the fast version and cooked it in the regular pot on the stove. Bree insisted that we make 2 pots because I apparently eat too much, which is probably true.
Not that you eat too much, but you eat it before I even get to try it or have a second bowl.
So what we're gonna do is a taste test. I'm gonna try 1 bite from each one. I'm not gonna know which one is which, and I'm gonna determine which style is better.
Yep.
Chill out, bro. Okay, we got our 2 bowls of zuppa toscana. One of them has been cooked for about 6 hours longer. So let's see if I can tell the difference or if one is better than the other. That one's good.
Good soup.
Why is the kale so sloppy? Oh, my heart.
Try blowing on it. This one has been turned off.
Distinctly different flavors.
Yes.
This one is hotter temperature, but also has a little bit of spice to it for some reason.
That was for me.
I gotta go with bowl number 1. This is, I'm gonna say this one's better, and I'm gonna guess this is the crock pot one. was I right?
You know it's crock pot. It's way darker than this one.
Okay, anyways, either way, this one is way better. If you're gonna cook zuppa, cook it in the crock pot.
No, I would have to disagree.
Cook it in the crock pot.
I also will be a part of this taste test because I think I would have to disagree. It's burnt. You burnt the bacon for that one. Blow on it. This one's way better.
Let's just agree to disagree, shall we?
Yeah.
Cook it in the crock pot. It's Thursday morning. Koa and I are back at Paris Mountain State Park. We've got 6 easy miles today. We're gonna do those on the trail. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I was gonna go over what easy miles meant. So for this whole training plan, I'm gonna be using the Maffetone Method, which is a type of training for distance running, and it's based on building an aerobic base. So you have your aerobic and your anaerobic systems. Aerobic means with air, anaerobic means without air. So the aerobic system is what you use when you run long distances or swim or bike really long distances. And it's where you can go for long periods of time because your body has enough oxygen and it can continuously perform at that level. And anaerobic is typically short bursts, so like if you're doing sprints. So to find your aerobic zone using the Maffetone method, it's super easy. You use 180 minus your age. So for me, I'm 24, so 180 minus 24 is 156. Another good way to find your aerobic heart rate zone is to do your max heart rate times 0.7 and then times 0.8, and that'll give you the minimum and maximum for your aerobic heart rate zone. So to find your max heart rate, you do 220 minus your age. So for me, that's 220 minus 24 is 196, and then 196 times 0.7, that's 137, and then 196 times 0.8, that's 156 roughly. So my aerobic zone is between 137 and 156. So for pretty much this entire training plan, I'm going to be doing 80% of my runs in my aerobic zone, so between 137 and 156, and those are my easy runs. And then the other 20% will be hard runs, which will be above 156. So I hope that made sense. It's a really great training method to use if you're training for marathons or ultras or even a half marathon or anything like that. Cole and I are gonna go hit these 6 easy miles. I made sure that the GoPro was charged this time, so we'll actually get some more footage. So, enjoy. That was a solid 6 miles with Koa. Those fall colors are popping right now. It is just beautiful out here. Last couple of miles, it started just pouring rain. We got soaked. Of course, didn't have my rain jacket, but made for a fun run. We got a rest day tomorrow, so we'll see you on Saturday. Look at this dog. Saturday, I've got a long run this morning, and I've got a running partner with me today. This is Ryan. He's a fellow Wyomingite, and he's out here in Greenville. He's living out here in Greenville, South Carolina. We've got a 12-mile run today with a 1-mile warm-up, 10 miles of negative splits, and then 1 mile cool down. The negative splits just progressively getting faster each mile, so we'll start at like an 8-minute pace and then work our way down to a 6:15 pace. So it should be a good one.
First time I've done a negative in a while, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, see you afterwards. How you doing there? Whew, that was a great 12-mile run. We had 12 miles, hour 29 minutes, 7:13 pace. We pushed it on the 11th mile, did about 6 minutes per mile.
Yeah, we were like 5:10 at the end there.
We were cooking.
Pushing it.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.